who is the best out of these players. So those are the options here. I want to save this as a draft. This is just NA RLCS. So let's find out who Twitch chat thinks is the best in the list. And then we'll add it to this number over here. We'll add it to this list on the left and remove them from the poll and do it again. Let's see who you guys vote for. Nick, not the GOAT again. Thanks for giving the sub to W9 NKA. And Captain Balloon Hands, thanks for the 2-month prime. Welcome back, dude. This is for first place. Yeah, this is for who's the best player in NA RLCS. Right now, Justin's ahead, and Garrett is in second with Squishy in third. And a whole bunch of players in fourth place. But it looks like Justin is taking number 1, which is not that surprising. So if I remove Justin from this one and then save that as draft, that means that Justin is no longer an option, and you're going to vote for your second best player in the league on this iteration. So let's do it. Create poll. Okay, Garrett G is ahead. We got Squishy, Chicago, Kronovi, Gimmick, and Torment behind. Yeah, Garrett G has got over half the votes already, and I don't imagine that's going to change. Yeah, he's miles ahead. So Garrett G gets second, so we take him out as well. Run it again. So this is the same question, but this time with no Garrett G or Justin. So who's the third best player in NA RLCS? I'm going to put Garrett into this while you guys vote. I'm going to reveal my top 10 after this, and we'll see how similar it is to the Twitch chat top 10. Okay. So Squishy ahead with 30 votes, Gimmick in second, Chicago in third, Torment in fourth, Kronovi in fifth. It's closer this time, but Gimmick is still ahead by... Or Squishy's still ahead by a fair margin here. Probably a big enough margin that we can just go ahead and give him the edge. So Squishy taking third. Now this is for your fourth best player. Alright, let's see what you guys vote for here. I'll put Squishy into the text and wait for the next one. Alright, so we've got Gimmick first. Chicago and Gimmick are really, really close. And then third is Torment. Fourth is Lethamyr, Kronovi, Fireburner, all involved. But it's Gimmick versus Chicago for number 1 here, it looks like. Stupid Birdie, thanks to the 3-month tier 1. Welcome back, dude. I really, really appreciate that. How do you vote? You click on that link that I just posted in the chat, the straw poll. Gimmick is slightly ahead this whole time, so let's just put Gimmick in here as Twitch chat's vote, because although he was only a little bit ahead, he was still ahead. So get your votes in for the 5th best player. You got Gimmick at number 4 to Twitch chat. There we go. Okay, and yeah, no surprise, Chicago is taking this one by a long way after being so close to winning the last one. It's not surprising to see that. Next is Fireburner, Torment, Kronovi, and Lethamyr. I've seen those names every single time, actually. So this is going to be the Chicago round. Chicago taking number 5 according to Twitch chat. Click the new poll in the chat every time, guys, if you want to vote. I'm posting a new poll every single time. Great. Now, thanks for gifting a sub to Fallen Stick. Welcome, Fallen Stick. Just gonna put Chicago in at number 5 here by you guys. Okay, who's winning this one? Torment in first, then Kronovi, Fireburner, JNaps, Lethamyr. Torment's not getting as many votes as the winners of the previous few rounds did, but he's still ahead by a fair margin, probably enough that we can just give this to Torment. I think I don't see anybody changing that order, so Torment takes number 6. Let's go ahead and create the next one while I put Torment in at number 6. So we've already got all of Cloud9 listed after 6 spots. That's interesting. Okay, so Fireburn is winning this next one, then Kronovi, then JNaps, then Leth. And Typical, Karma, Rizzo, JXB, Drippe, Corrupted G, all picking up votes. Looks like Fireburner is going to win this round. We can safely give that one to Fireburner at number 7. And then move on to the next one. This is voting for the 8th best player. Fireburner just took number 7. according to Twitch chat. Twitch chat's number 7. Alright, Kronovi is currently in the lead, then JNaps, Lethamyr, Rizzo, Sypical AJ, all in the mix. But yeah, Kronovi looks like he's winning this one. It's really interesting. You guys are sticking pretty true to the order every single time. I don't know if it's just because you're seeing it and thinking, yeah, that seems like a good next player to vote for, but it's been very consistent. So Kronovi takes the next spot. Number 8. Let's get number 9 voted for. Kronovi's no longer in the poll. And we got JNaps, Lethamyr, AJ, Sypical, Drippe, Rizzo. It's been JNaps in the front since the start of this one. He's got a good few votes. Yeah, he's almost over double of second place. So JNaps is going to take number 9. Let's remove JNaps from this. And then, actually, this will be the last poll, so I don't need to save this one to the draft. This will be the last iteration. Last one. Who is the 10th best player? You've got options to choose from here on the list. Okay, we've got AJ, Lethamyr, Sypical, Rizzo, Drippe, Karma. Interesting. Lethamyr and AJ and Sypical and Rizzo are the ones who are close to taking this one. Right, it looks like Lethamyr's actually extended his lead there. So that confirms the Twitch chat list. So just to run it back, we have Justin at the top, number 1. Garrett G, number 2. Squishy, number 3. Gimmick, number 4. Chicago, number 5. Torment, number 6. Fireburner, number 7. Kronovi, number 8. JNaps, number 9. And Lethamyr, number 10. Okay. This is the Twitch chat list. So my predictions my ranks are gonna be as follows. Let me just get my spreadsheet up so I can see it. So number 10 for me, you guys had Lethamyr of Ghost Gaming, who missed out on RLCS by 2 spots, but they didn't have to go to the promotions tournament, so that's good. I don't have Lethamyr at number 10, but I do have another player who didn't make RLCS, and it's actually going to be Drippe. I've got Drippe at number 10. So Drippe finished 7th place in league play with EG, but I think he had a really good season. As a player who comes over from a completely different region, I think he has to be in the top 10 after playing as well as he did. Easily, for me, the best player in his team. One of the biggest carries in this season of RLCS, looking easily good enough for another season of RLCS. And if EG don't make it through the promotion tournament, which I think they probably will, I think they're going to be fine in the NA promotion tournament. But if they don't make it through, I'll be super surprised if Drippe doesn't get picked up by a different RLCS team, because this guy's insane. I think he has to be in your top 10, or has to be in the top 10 players for this year's RLCS NA. And I think he only stands to improve, given how given the fact that he's coming in from a new region for the first time. I think he can only get better as we move into the next season. Looking forward to seeing what's next on the plate for him. Okay, so my next 5 players from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, very, very close in order, super close. But the order that I'm going with is, I'm weighing more heavily on the matchups that teams have had against the best teams in North America. So bear that in mind. This is when I see these guys playing against the other really good, the top teams in NA. I'm giving that a bit more weight, because it's really hard to split up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 without doing that. But with that in mind, I think my 9th best player for this RLCS season is actually Gimmick. So I've got him way lower than you guys, and it's purely because although Gimmick has easily top 5 offense, and easily maybe even top 3, maybe even top 2, top 1. He might be. There's an argument for him being the best defensive player. I think his midfield play and possession control, his turnover efficiency, his like ability to control the ball in defense is very, very low tier, and it's caused C9 problems, especially against NRG. But even with that, he's still a really good player. And like I said before, I think his offense is absolutely top tier. But this isn't an offense list. This is an overall list. So that's why I've got him lower down than you guys. But the good thing for Gimmick is that I think a lot of the problems that he does have with his own gameplay, and a lot of the problems that he does need to address if he wants to help his team more, they're not that hard to improve on. They're not things that he's going to need to grind at day in, day out. They're just small decision-making adjustments, and he'll be fine. But yeah, it's up to him to see if he can do that. If he does, then Cloud9 could make another crazy run at RLCS, although that also depends on other few things happening as well. But we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Okay, so number 8 for me is going to be JNaps. So you guys had him at 9, so pretty close actually. I'm surprised to see JNaps this low. In fact, I thought he would be higher on the Twitch chat list, but I've got him at number 8 because G2, they did get smashed by Cloud9 in regionals, but they did beat them in league play. And overall throughout the whole season, I think they're pretty even in how they did. The only thing that you have to take into account is that Cloud9 have had better LAN performances than G2 recently. So going into RLCS, I do expect Cloud9 to do better, and I think they will on paper be a more scary team. But JNaps for this season of RLCS just edges Gimmick for me because he's had really high participation in offense for G2, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's also the top saves per game for that team. So he's been all over the field doing a lot of work, and I'm looking for him to get back up there because he could easily be higher. He's got potential to be a top 5 player, but right now I'm not putting him top 5 because G2 have just been a bit outclassed by some other competition recently. But yeah, I've got JNaps at number 8. Number 7 for me is Gimmick's partner in crime, Squishy. So I've got him a bit lower. 1, 2, 3, 4 lower. I'd Gimmick 5 lower than you guys. I've got Squishy 4 lower than you guys in the list. And it's mainly because although we've seen a couple of high impact plays like that one goal, the crazy double touch to was it to win a game or to tie a game? I forget. But you guys know the double touch I'm talking about, where you read the angle bounce. Yeah, Squishy's had a couple of really big plays that have really caught attention, and it's easy to think back on the whole season and only remember that and think, oh man, Squishy did pretty well, didn't he? He scored that double touch, and yeah, what else did he do? He's not had the craziest good season in my opinion. He's been an impact player at times, but other times he's been pretty quiet and not done too much. And he, to a much lesser degree, has some defensive issues, not as bad as Gimmicks, but I think he does still have a couple of things he needs to work on for his defense, mainly with how he plays the third man position. Because although once Cloud9 are in defense and they're all boxed in and they're all in defense, they're all back, all 3 of them, he's pretty good at slowing down the play. When he's the only one back, I rarely see him do this, so he needs to take a leaf out of Torment's book, I think, if he wants to help Cloud9 to victory against the very top tier teams at the moment. But this, like I said earlier, this is all very close. Gimmick, JNaps, Squishy is super close in terms of where they are right now, in my opinion. Okay, so number 6 for me is going to be Kronovi. I've got him 2 higher than you. So you guys had Kronovi in your top 10 as well. Not bad. Overall, actually, this list has been super similar, at least in terms of names. But yeah, I've got Kronovi pretty high on my list because he's had to come back from not just being benched from his team, G2, joining a completely new roster and having a terrible off-season, but also having a pretty bad start to RLCS with his new team. And after all that has happened, he's managed to overcome adversity with his new team and make it to RLCS. I think that really speaks volumes to how well Kronovi's been playing recently. And although as a team, Rogue have not been as impressive as your Cloud9, as your G2s, and as your NRGs, Kronovi as an individual has been outstanding. I think he's been very, very impressive. Like, making tons and tons of great plays all over the field.
Starting a riot.
Hold your pitchforks for now, Dub. But yeah, this isn't just for me, I don't just take into account, okay, how good did a player do on the points per game, for example, because if you do that, it's very easy to see 3 players for one team all being at the top, and then 3 players for a team that did worse slightly below them. But what you sometimes don't realize is that the player at the top, or who got the highest participation on the stats for their team, will have had much more of a contribution for that team's success compared to the player who's done the worst on a much better team. That's why I've got Cronovi up higher here than Squishy and Gimmick and JNaps. But like I said earlier, super close. It's very hard to separate these guys. So just squeezing into my number 5. I don't believe it's happened, but we actually have another we have another exact pick. It's happened, Twitch chat. I've also got Chicago at number 5. I couldn't believe that. I thought I was going to be different here by putting Chicago at 5, but you've also done the same thing. Chicago had I think was it the highest, if I'm not mistaken, goal participation out of anyone in RLCS NA throughout this whole season, and he did come in as a brand new player, of course, to G2, and I think when he's on, G2 are on. They need him to show up, but the reason I can't put him any higher than this is because they didn't do too well in the regional championships. But yeah, he's still, throughout the entire season, the highest goal participation on anybody in the entire league. Really, really, I think it's like 82% or something crazy like that. So he's either assisted or scored 82% of G2's goals, something crazy, which is an outstanding number. And the rest of the numbers he's been putting up are also impressive. So I've got Chicago top 5 for that reason, just edging out the 4 below him. But yeah, like I said before, you could honestly put these guys in any order and make a good case for it. I wouldn't complain if somebody did a completely different order from what I've done here. But that's the reason I've got them in this order myself. Okay, getting into the top 4. I have top 3 Fireburner in number 4, who you guys had at number 7. So yeah, I've got Fireburner a little bit higher than you guys. I think he's had his best league play that I can remember. Not just because he's doing the sort of quiet things, the Fireburner-y things that everybody says, oh yeah, Fireburner, he doesn't have the flash, but he's never making big mistakes. He's always the rock, the anchor that his team needs. Yeah, that's still true, but Fireburner's also been making big plays as well. He's been putting goals up and actually making some aggressive plays, which I love to see, because if NRG are going to make a run like Cloud9 did at last RLCS, they need Fireburner to step up and be that third offensive player alongside Garrett and Justin, just like Torment did at the last LAN. Speaking of, I've got Torment top 3. Now, if you'd asked me to make this list before regionals, Torment would have been lower. In fact, I would have probably had him lower than Squishy and Gimmick as the lowest of the entire Cloud9 roster. But he was the only player who impressed me against NRG in their sweep loss. He also looks pretty good against G2. Now, if he can hit his LAN form like he did at the grand final of last year's RLCS, the Las Vegas RLCS, he can easily keep this top 3 in my opinion, maybe even be the best player in North America. But yeah, I've got him top 3 because he does more for Cloud9 in terms of relieving pressure, preventing the other team that they're against from doing what they want to do. And although he's, I think, still the least capable individually in offense for Cloud9, he's far from like a bad striker. He's cleaning up a lot of goals. You think about who's always rotating in the back post at perfect timing to slot in that shot. It's probably Torment, and he doesn't miss those very often. So although he's had a pretty kind of cagey season early on, later he's impressed me, and like I said, I'm giving more weight to the matchups against other good teams than I am against who crushed Splice the best. I don't really care who did the best against Splice. It's who did the best against NRG. That's like much more important for me. But yeah, we've got another unsurprising agreement here. I've got Garrett at number 2. I know you maybe somebody thought I was going to be try to be different and say that Garrett was the best player in the league this season, but no, that was pretty clearly going to be Justin, in my opinion. He just ripped teams apart. Good team, lower rated teams, higher rated teams, didn't matter. Justin just annihilated all of them. and Garrett G's been playing insanely solid at the back. He's just, if players like Squishy, Gimmick want to figure out, okay, how do we become more solid, and how do we stop, you know, giving away the ball so much? They're just going to look at Garrett G pretty much, because he almost never gives away the ball for no reason. There's usually if he does give away the ball, there's usually a reason. There's something he was trying to play around. He doesn't just hit it away and hope for the best. Now, he didn't have a perfect season by any means, did Garrett, but he did look very impressive and very, very solid at the back, and still able to be part of his team's offense as well when they are moving forward, not taking any risks by not leaving any gaps when he's doing so. But Justin, I think, has to be number one because his outrageous stats and his outrageous goal participation and goal scoring capability, and all. Yeah, he's all over the field. He's not just sitting up trying to snipe everything. He's just literally all over the field, making plays, ruining people at the top level. So in that area, I do agree with you guys. So we were the same on Justin, Garrett, Chicago, Fireburner and Torment. I had them both higher than you. Gimmick and Squishy, I had them both lower than you guys. I had Chronovia a bit higher. I had JNaps almost exactly the same. And then we varied on Lethamyr and Drippy. I think Drippy deserves that number 10. You guys think Leth deserves that number 10. But yeah, what do you guys think after seeing both the top 10s? Can we get ones in chat if you think Twitch chat have the better top 10, twos if you think that Johnny Boy has the better top 10? Let's see it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's right, you guys vote against yourself. I like it. No, seriously, yeah, I think overall, I'm gonna face this way today. Overall, I could see anyone from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 being switched. They're all super close in my opinion. Chicago, Chronovia, Squishy, JNaps, Gimmick. Very, very hard to choose between that order. But Justin, Garrett, Torment, Fireburner, and Drippy, I think they were all. I was solid on those. I wasn't gonna move those. They were the ones I put in like first. I was like, okay, this is easy. Now, how on earth do I rank Chicago, Chronovia, Squishy, JNaps, and Gimmick? That was the difficult part. Grand Potato, thanks for the 6-month tier 1. I really appreciate that. And also Matchstick0227, thanks for the Prime sub. Welcome. Hiroshi, thanks for the 250 bits. Unfortunately, John Sandman wasn't in there, and also DumTV. Unfortunately, Neat Mike wasn't in there. Sorry about that. Hallie RL, thanks for the 10-month tier 1. Welcome back to you. But yeah, guys, we're not done. That's just NA. We have to do EU as well.